Hello, everyone, and welcome to. I'm Cole.
And I'm Nick.
And we are down a Todd.
We're down a Todd, and this is
This Week in
Comics. Do you have a thing?
This Week
there
in
it is.
Comics. Yeah.
Hey. Yeah.
Hey, we try.
We try. Sorry, I'm late. At like 5:02, my son decided now is the perfect time at night to take a shower. And then right above me is the shower, and water started coming down, which is near all my books, and I was terrified. So I had to quick scurry around and get things figured out. So, yeah.
It was fun watching you. I'm glad that your books are hopefully safe.
Yes, all my books are safe. It's luckily, like, it drops right here, like right in front of this this case of stuff, and there's no books or anything, just the power cord and stuff. So if all of a sudden everything just goes, it's because it landed on my surge protector. Yeah.
Hello, Sam King. He's first here.
Happy new comic book day, everybody.
Yeah. Hey, Steve.
Did everybody get their copy of Something is Killing the Children #1 8th printing?
So I was just watching Nick, the Comic Nerds video, and at his shop, they just gave that to anyone that bought a cover. Like, anyone that bought issue 1.
Oh, I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I know the actual thing, I think, was supposed to be if you bought the foil cover of 1 and the foil cover of 2. You got it right?
I have the card right here, so hold on. For sure, you got the first card for buying 1.
Yeah.
The foil cover for 1.
So
it was hold your copy of Berserker #1 or your proof of purchase, which is this, and come back to your local comic shop when you purchased, where you purchased Berserker 1, and you can bring your copy of the comic or your proof of purchase or your receipt, or like if your shop knew you bought it, like it was just to keep people honest, I guess.
Yeah.
And then you were supposed to buy a copy of Berserker 2, but it just says Berserker 2. It doesn't say foil covers or anything like that. And then you could buy this, but our shop just put them out, but then we snagged them up. So
yeah, there was a weird story with that where Nick grabbed all 3 of them, and then a dude ripped one out of his hands.
I mean, I wouldn't say he ripped it out of my hand. Like, I was standing there with him and like gestured to Todd, like, "Hey, here's yours." And he turned around and was like, "Oh, like I'm pretty sure it was a misunderstanding. Like, he thought I was going like, here you go, and here you," like I was handing him out, but it was just like, "Todd, here's yours," and he was just like, "Yoink," and then walked away, and it was like, And I couldn't even remember if you had gotten Berserker or not, so I didn't say anything because I didn't want it to turn into a thing. But
yeah, and then that
guy bugs me.
I just went up to him and I was like, "I'm pretty sure he grabbed a book for me, and then you took it out of his hand." And he was like, "Oh," and then handed it to me.
Yeah, he was like, "Oh, here you go." Like, he knew immediately as soon as you said it, he was like, "Oh," and coughed it up. So I was like, "Well, at least it gives me a little bit better feeling knowing that like he was cool about it." So, like, maybe if he beats one of us for something and we know he's got it, like, next time if I don't see a book I'm looking for, I'm going to ask him and be like, "You mind if, like, I wanted to get that, I'm pulling the book or something?" I went back to our shop because Source Point stuff was low, and I asked Andrew, and he said that guy spends about $500 a week.
That is insane. Also, yeah. Hey, King Paul, sorry that your Blues play the same time that we do this show.
I think they should.
Yeah, they should reschedule. Sorry that we made you wait, Tyler.
They should know, Tyler. But yeah, so.
Well, I'm glad you're here watching us, Flash.
That was the fun time at the local comic book shop. We're down a Todd tonight.
Yeah, Todd is moving furniture.
He moved or had moved furniture,
and now he's out of whack. Since Chip's here, and I know how much he loves whiskey, it's a Whiskey Wednesday. I'm drinking 4 Roses. This is small batch select.
Nice.
I don't have actually, but I thought he did once, and so I just started sending him pictures of whiskey, and then he didn't even really like whiskey that much. Natter Day. Oh, those are Keystone Lights.
The Keystone Lights. I like the Keystone Light a lot better than Natter Day.
What are those ones called? What are they called? Like
Key Lightful.
Key Lightful. I like that. That's a nice name.
Raspberry lime beer, and it's light beer. They're not as the Natter Days are like real sugary, and I get like the gut rot. These I can drink like 7 of them, and I feel fine.
Yeah, that's still crazy to me. $500. It's kind of like, you know,
$500 a week, but he's not reading like any of them.
Well, the weird thing is too, yeah, like I don't even know if he resells them, does he?
Yeah, I
would assume he does, but he could just be one of those people.
Andrew said that there's no way he like reads them and stuff. Like he's not buying them for that.
Well, it's crazy too. Yeah,
maybe he reads a few of them.
Yeah, he always was like, "Oh, do you guys have these Scout VHS copies?" And I was like, "They don't get normal Scout books, dude."
Yeah, he always asks for like the most crazy stuff where it's like, he's asking about 1 in 100 variants and stuff, and it's like, do you see the size of this store? Yeah. Like, he doesn't buy 100 issues of anything.
Hey, Trev.
Just got my wife's attention.
Oh yeah, for Natties.
Oh yeah. And you get a whole 12-pack. You get a whole 12-pack for like $8.
Oh wow! Mm-hmm. I mean, you could, if you just put in that extra $4.99, you could get a 30-pack of hams.
I could, except the Meijer gas station by my house does not carry the hams, so this is the best deal there.
When you go in there and there's like a young kid walking in, do you like walk up to him and like shake your fist at him and like, "You damned cursed children"?
Yes. That's definitely what I do. If you sent me a list, by the way, I don't have it. But that works fine. You already I just found it. It was on the bottom of the pile there. Damned Cursed Children number 4 from Source Point Press. Howard Wong, and I gotta pull it out because I forget everybody all the names here. Howard Wong, Josh Stafford, Robin Simon, NG, and then lettered by Howard Wong. It's not a zombie. We learned that in the interview. It's not a zombie book, but it's little kids getting infected by something that basically turns them into a zombie for the sake of time. And it's all in black and white, and it's a super cool book. And I think there's only 2 more.
I thought it was 5 issues.
I thought it was 5.
You're wrong.
I thought it was 5, and it's cool. There's some cool stuff that definitely makes it different than just a standard zombie book.
Yeah,
I like this one a lot.
Have yet to get to that because I ended up reading. By the time I actually did go back, I thought I was going to catch you because I got there at like 5:10.
Yeah, that wouldn't be too far off. Yeah, honestly, it might have ended up higher on my list, but when we had them on for the interview, they sent us like 1 through 3. And since I had read 1 through 3, I've been kind of skating by my initial reads. So it's now been like 3 months since I've read any of this. So it's like I might be a little out of the story a little bit. I think definitely if number 5 is last, it's a fairly quick read. And if 5 is the last one, then I'm going to reread 1 through 4 next month before I get 5 because it's really good.
So I heard some people in the audience were requesting a graphic popping up. So here.
This Week in Comics.
Yeah.
Oh, here's the list. You did say it.
Yeah. I just sent it again. Yeah. So, it was kind of funny how that like banner just kind of like crossed over our faces in like a number 6 manner. I didn't even. I gotta read here. So yeah, number 6 is crossover. 6. Number 9 is crossover. Number 6.
B cover. If you didn't get the B cover, you're a sucker.
Well, I got the A cover. I always get the A cover.
I know you do.
This is written by.
It's a good one.
It's an Image comic. It is written by Donnie Cates. The story is. The art is Jeff Shaw. Colors are D. Kniff. That might be right. That might be wrong. Nope, that is right. Maybe. Letters and designer John J. Hill. I think if you're like this is the issue if you've been reading crossover. Like, I think you and I both kind of agreed on this because I talked to you right after I read it.
Yeah.
This is like the first issue when there's a big crossover. Like, there's tons of people. If you've read, like there's people from books that like I didn't even expect. I mean, granted, when we got what happened with the sword, and I mean, I guess we're not really going to ruin it, but people should know at that point that have been reading it. I knew that they were going to pull in books that might not be superhero based stuff too.
Yeah.
And yeah, there was a lot of people in here. I mean, like, I don't know. We'll talk about it later, but there were a ton of people that
I'll give people the benefit of I wouldn't consider saying like, oh, so and so showed up in the background. I wouldn't consider that a spoiler, but it's the day of. And I know that there's a lot of people that are kind of cooling on crossover a little bit. I really like it. I'm gonna probably switch over to trades just because I have to cut something. And it wasn't my favorite book month to month, but I did enjoy reading it, even though I don't get a lot of the references and stuff. It's just they're just cool characters to me.
But
this one had that double page spread that it was just like it's like just finding little everything.
And if you guys, I'd highly recommend. I was reading the preview copy, and like because it's digital, there isn't the two like you don't get the splash page, right? There's the 2 pages, and you have to flip between them. And Nick was pointing out characters. He was like, oh, I like how they did this for this person. And like this group of people they had in the shadows, so you didn't notice them. I didn't even notice those characters.
Oh, really?
But then you said that, so I'm starting going back in the book because all I was thinking about is the one person I pointed out to you.
Yeah.
Like there's another character that I think when Todd reads this, he's going to freak out about.
I think they did that more in issue 1, and they've kind of gotten away from it, where there was some stuff kind of like shadowed, where like you see the shadow, because if they put the actual characters, then it's from a different publisher. They might get in trouble for it. So they use like a shadow of something. It'd be like, I don't know if this is in there. I haven't looked at all of them, so it's not a spoiler. But it'd be like if you just had an outline of like Batman.
Yeah, you know who Batman is.
And it's just like you see it and you're like, you know that's Batman, but it's not.
In the first, in that issue 2, they had.
Oh, they did,
in the jail, you saw the Batman horns or whatever.
Yeah.
The cowl.
Yeah, they did it. They did some cool stuff with that. And they did one specifically when people see it, they'll know where a character they just switched the colors between outfit and like skin.
Yeah, you pointed one of those out, which those are more, it's a little bit harder. Anyone can look like that. So,
yeah. But it's like you know who that's supposed to be. So it's cool. I liked crossover.
It's funny you say that because I'm pretty sure when Madman came out, Nick thought it was Freakazoid.
I did think it was Freakazoid. I was like, holy shit, they brought Freakazoid into the thing because I don't know a lot of the old like Savage Dragon era Image comics. I don't know any of those.
Even on there's another like Image person.
It is purple and green, Sam. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about.
Also,
so like I said, it's one that I know a lot of people are getting a little soft on, and that's I get why, but
I was definitely soft on this, but I think there was enough pop and a lot of good stuff in here where it's a good issue. If you don't like this issue, I would assume that crossover is probably not for you.
Oh yeah, like if this arc didn't win you over, it's not going to get any.
I mean, this issue, this issue could have been way better, but it was fine.
Mm-hmm. I liked the little reveal at the end, and it wasn't necessarily unexpected, but it was sure. I liked it. And in fact, I might even continue to pull it if the next issue is really good. I might give it another arc. I'll see where we're at that week probably. Yeah.
Like if a son of your favorite superhero shows up,
right? Like if he was in the crossover or something in training. He's pretty busy on his island. Robin #1 by Joshua Williamson. And I should have had it already, but I got my blue tape now.
Oh yeah, blue tape. It is the best tape.
It's so much easier. Oh, and they don't have his name or anything. Did they go a few in? Here we go. Joshua Williamson, writer. Caleb Melkinov is the artist. ALW Troy Pateri is letters. Gleb Melkinov is the cover and variant cover. And there's a bunch of other variant covers and editors and stuff. But yeah, this is, I believe, Damien's first solo book.
I have no idea.
Maybe. I don't know. I know that Key Collector has this book at like 3 or maybe 4 first appearances.
Yeah, because there's the girl that he fights at the end.
Yeah, and there's I don't know how much.
Yeah, and who knows? I mean,
I don't know how much of this is spoilery and what isn't. I thought it was pretty straightforward. There was one thing having to deal with the end of this book that I didn't realize for like 2 hours, and I was like, oh, duh. Like, because I'm like, wait, how are they going to go with this? And how are they going to? And I was like, oh, yeah. I'm an idiot. Yeah, that makes sense.
Honestly, to be fair, I didn't really know until you just said that, and I'm putting 2 and 2 together.
Are you? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, didn't even think about it. I was like, we'll just see what happens in the next one. This one was fun, I think. If you watch Mortal Kombat this weekend, maybe this book might intrigue you.
If you liked it, yeah. And yeah, I was gonna get just number 1, and I read it, and I thought, maybe I'll get number 2. Maybe I'll pull it. Maybe I'm gonna get Robin and Nightwing. And those are gonna be my two pulls.
I feel like you should wait for Wonder Girl.
Well, I'm not. That one's like the last on my list to drop, and I'll get number 1 for sure, and I'll probably stick with it. But I'd always just say I'm dropping things, and then I'll come up with a list of 5 things to drop. And
I think this weekend I read the first 2 issues of Nightwing, and
it's so good.
Good God, that might. I'm going to say that on record. Maybe that's at least top 3 DC book right now. Maybe number 1.
Yeah. I would probably say it's my number 1 right now. It's just so refreshing compared to everything else. Everything else is so dark and depressing and just awful. But
I think they all watch Mortal Kombat.
Go for the hurt. Yeah.
I would say, like,
I liked it.
You know, speaking of teenage superheroes,
I was gonna look for the back copies of this and maybe buy all of them if they had them.
Yeah, we have Erratic number 5. This is AWA Upshot. It is by Carrie Andrews. The colorist is Brian Reber, and letterer is Sal Cipriano. I think we were all pretty strong into the first like wave of AWA Upshot, and I think the second wave has been a little bit less good.
That would have been a really difficult pace to maintain because they came out.
Oh, they came all cylinders fire. I think in wave 1, I disliked maybe one book. I didn't really like Archangel 8 or 9, whatever it was called.
I think it was 8.
But I still, yeah. But this book has been pretty fantastic. I mean, it's fun. It's nothing crazy. It's nothing groundbreaking. But I think like the way that they're working this, what is that book even called? Their superhero book. I think this is maybe going to be in there. I know they talk about the Moss book, The Resistance. But yeah, I think this is slightly weirdly in the mix of this. And this is like YA, but it's still good. My favorite thing is that they always say like, what the truck? And just stuff like that. So you can generally tell
like
that
what the butts, what the truck, they clean it up.
Yeah.
With a funny like substitute word.
And they do reveal at the end that I think there's going to be another volume of this. So that's pretty cool.
I'm looking for potentially getting the singles, or I'll grab the trade because my kids were reading Bite Sized, and there was every time they read that there was like a 3-page preview for Erratic, and every time they read it, it was like, how is Bite Size? And they were like, good. Can you get us Erratic? Like every time, and it's like maybe, man. And so it's like I probably should have just grabbed it, but now I'm holding it ransom for like they have to behave. Yeah, they're gonna have to like clean their room or something and behave all weekend long.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, and I don't know. I mean, I know wave number 1, and I think I'm not sure if a wave number 2 book. I think this is the first one that ends, but all the wave number 1 books are all $9.99 in trade paperback. If you buy them on Amazon, you get 10% off. But if you just have our shop pre-order it, they'll also give you 10% off, and you won't have to deal with it being shipped in like a bubble mailer and maybe be like destroyed when they throw it on your porch.
Mm-hmm. That's the worst.
But they have been getting most of them at our shop, so that's also
pretty cool. They might already have it. Well, they wouldn't have that yet for another month or so. probably.
Yeah, probably. I mean, they've been coming out pretty quickly.
Pretty quick.
I mean, yeah, because I mean, I got like, well, I guess Bad Mother came out like a month or two ago, and that book ended in December. So yeah,
I
you probably
always
got
wish
2 months.
maybe it's unrealistic, but I always wish that a publisher would release a trade on the same day that the last one came out. So if somebody was waiting, then you could just get it all same day.
Like, they do that, or else people would just do it. But now they want you to wait. They want you to cook, and sometimes they do add extra stuff.
Well, they might need to know how many numbers they have.
Yeah. I said I've only gotten 2 of the AWA trades that I've read, and I don't think they had extra stuff in them to my knowledge, but I could be wrong. I need to recheck them. But speaking of superheroes from other publishers that aren't big too.
Oh, and speaking of it wasn't.
And also, that was the final. Yeah, we did.
Who did it? Robin was number 1.
Yeah.
Valiant. This might be the first Valiant appearance on This Week in Comics.
It is 100% the first Valiant
appearance. Yeah, I think it would be. Shadow Man number 1 from Cullen Bunn, John Davis Hunt, Jordi Belair, and Clayton Cowles. Is the, I don't know if it's reboot or what it is. I am beginning to familiarize myself with the Valiant world, and I've been really enjoying Bloodshot. Jeff Lemire's Bloodshot has been.
Hey, you did it right.
Absolutely fantastic. Well, did you hear me stall for a minute because I was saying it in my head? I'm like Jeff Lemire.
Well, you said it this morning on your.
Did I say Lemire?
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't even know why you were talking about him, to be completely honest.
I think I just said it. I think I was saying the same thing, maybe.
Yep. That's exactly what you were saying.
Yeah, so this is my first Shadow Man, other than him having kind of an appearance in some Bloodshot stuff. And I like it a lot. It's cool. It's very different. Like, everything about the Valiant world is really well thought out and balanced. And when the characters come to it's kind of like what I wish the crossovers and stuff like that from DC would be. Like, it seems like they're doing it right, and the characters are really interesting because they're all just that little bit different. Nobody's just like a straight clone of like a DC or Marvel character or anything. They're all pretty. I found they've been pretty original ideas and things to it. So I figured I've been liking that, and I figured, you know what, if they're going to be putting out like a number 1, then maybe now's the time to jump on it and start checking it out.
Book too. I mean, I did that short on it about like my quick review, and I really enjoyed it. I mean, I really love Joelle Jones' run of Catwoman, and that had a very intriguing villain. And this first issue, it's kind of confusing, but it kind of reminded me of that. And it does also have a lot of other elements, like similar horror books, like Swamp Thing, like Immortal Hulk, like Justice League Dark and stuff like that. Yeah,
it's cool. It's kind of interesting because it seems familiar, but again, it's not like this is familiar because it's just like that. But it has a lot of stuff that.
But I mean, no other superhero, I think, has powers from voodoo spirits from their lineage.
Not that I can recall.
I mean, maybe somebody I think there might be somebody called Voodoo in Marvel. But I was actually surprised that you say that Boom Studio seems to take forever, because I got 7 Secrets, and I think it's only on issue 7, right?
Yes, 7.
And I got the trade of that, and I just finished that.
But there was a long hiatus too.
I didn't know
between 6 and 7. There was a few months off.
That is I have no idea where Cullen Bunn lives, but that's very cool.
So that's Shadow Man number 1.
Yeah, and speaking of books that we did a short about, number 5 is 25th. This is number 1. This is from Source Point Press. This is art by Kat Bauman, colors by Gabby Contreras, and letters by DC Hopkins, and written by Frankie White. This is a very, 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 very original story, I feel like. I don't think there's anything like this. It's like a bad breakup, and there's also fist fight gangs, and it's kind of like the Warriors, kind of not. we got the early access to this, so I have read the entire story. But I love this first issue. I mean, it's very intriguing. I think Frankie does like this is a book that like I didn't know that I needed a concept of a bad romance with fist fighting, but now that it's out there in the world, I'm very into it.
Kind of gave me a little bit of a Purge vibe, where except like it's not anything goes. It's just like fighting is like cool. Like that's fighting just the way cool. That's the way that everything's just solved, and yeah, it was cool. I've only read the first issue. I haven't gone further yet because I've been trying to manage my time as much as I can, and I still didn't get all the books read.
Yeah, it's been I definitely read.
But that was that's Source Point too, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's in their Source Point. Yeah. What do we have? Oh, so this book originally, until like. You sent me the message to be like, hey, Nick, I need your list soon. And I was like, okay. And I looked at it, and this book was my number one. And I was like, hold on a minute. What? And
I don't disagree with that pick.
I had to do some flipping around, but it was my number one for a while. I forget where it landed. I'll message it out my list later. But I did end up dropping it a little bit, not because it isn't good, because I really like Beta Ray Bill.
Oh, Burrito Links is fantastic,
and it's. I think it's just such a fun read, and I like Daniel Warren Johnson so much that I really. It's just like it was with Wonder Woman, where it's like I just really enjoy my time reading it. It's just a good read, and the art is amazing. The colors are fantastic, and it's fun to read, and there's cool pages like that. And it's great. I love it. And I wouldn't argue with having it at my number one again or still or wherever. I think this week's books I could kind of move around and shuffle them and be like, sure. Like everything was pretty solid, but this one was the most fun to read.
I would say like, of my list, like, I mean, my tops, but like I have like my bottom three. I think I read 21 books this week.
Oh wow!
And that's I would say, and I would say maybe the bottom three are the only ones that weren't terrible. I love that this book is kind of turning into. It's not this, but I want to call it like a buddy cop video, like movie. Like that's what this is turning into.
It is a little bit
great, and I love it. And I mean, it's very like this book isn't like.
And finish your thought.
Oh, I was just saying, like, it's not going to be like it's not like crazy deep or anything like that, but it does some cool stuff.
It can be sometimes.
It does, but it isn't. And
there's some stuff about like body image and self-worth and stuff that this book is,
and I do like that.
Some pretty cool concepts. But I do want to also say that I'm not really the Marvel guy. I have never read any runs of Thor. I don't know if I've read a complete issue of Thor. Maybe I have one that's in like you put on 3D glasses, and I've maybe read that one. So I am very unfamiliar with a lot of this, and I still absolutely love it. So and I know it directly follows some stuff with King in Black. I think it's mentioned a little bit. Some stuff that happens beforehand. That sets it up, and I didn't read that either, and I still you can figure out what's going on and follow it just fine.
A lot of people loved Jason Aaron's run of Thor, and it went really long. I would maybe check out the God Butcher. That's the first volume Jason Aaron did. Mm-hmm. The only thing is, I know that we've talked about Thor, and the thing you don't like is the way Thor talks.
I don't like the
Jason Aaron does it in where he talks like that. Like, I don't know how to explain it, but the lettering, you'll see the lettering, you'll see
it's kind of it's not in cursive, but it's the more curly letters, and it's
you should read
thee and thou and the
I think you'd like it. Because Donny Cates doesn't. Donny Cates he doesn't, and on Marvel Unlimited, it's like 14 issues in, so you can probably read up to issue 11. You could read the first two volumes.
Right now I'm in the 1943 for or 1960. I might be in 1967 for Daredevil. So once I'm finished with Daredevil, maybe Kate's run will be done, and I'll check it out then. Because I can't. Daredevil was supposed to be I'm going to read one issue a day, and I keep finding myself reading like 2 or 3 issues. I can't stop reading.
That's good. I mean, most of the
I love it.
That old, I don't like.
No, there's something about like late 60s Stan Lee that I just adore it. I wish I had found it so much earlier in life.
You know who does the art on that?
Wood. I think
that's fine. The only reason I've heard a lot of people say that they noticed that like Stan Lee's writing got worse when he wasn't working with like Kirby and Ditko, or I think those are
it was hold on, I can have it in like, it just switched though. It switched at like 6.
And if you're in the chat and you know early Stan Lee Daredevil stuff,
it's not on here.
All right, well, that's fine. It's not that important. But speaking of Donny Cates books, number 3 is Frank at Home at the Farm. This has nothing to do with Donny Cates, but this is a Scout book. Its writer is Jordan Thomas. The artist is Clark Hint, and the letterer is a letter squid. And this is a very... So this book is very strange because it's like a guy dealing with like PSTD of coming back from war, but it also is like a horror take on like him and his kind of Animal Farmy. And this is the final issue. Also, the question was, who did the art on the Daredevil run of 1963 with Stan Lee?
Wally Wood.
Perfect.
Was at least he's doing it now, but yeah. Anyways.
This was a book I remember. I kickstarted a book from a company, and they also wrote this book. And they were like, "Do you want to get this book?" And I said, "No." And then I read the first issue, and Scout released it. And I was like, "Probably should have kickstarted that book like
I wish
2 or 3 years ago." But it's been fantastic. It's weird. It's weird because there's like some body horror stuff in here, and it's not a body horror book at all. But like, it's just like the imaging and graphics are like weird and disproportionate in certain like aspects where it like weirds you out. But I love it. It's weird. I know this isn't for everyone.
No, it definitely isn't. But if you like books that, like you said, are just weird books, and it's like, it almost reminds me a little bit of like the movie The Lighthouse, where it's just like,
you don't really know what happened at the end. You're like, that was cool, but I don't know what happened. But also,
and it's just like, okay, that's just, and that's what it was every month. So we had four releases for this, and every time it would find its way closer and closer to the top of the stack. I even think like number 1 I had in my pull box for like a month. I didn't even get it.
Yeah.
Until maybe
they were like, Cole.
They were like, Cole got this. Do you want one? And I'm like, maybe. I don't know. And then I read the review copy, and it was like,
do I want this? And I was like, I don't know. It's weird as hell, but I love it.
It's funny. It's like whenever you're like, ooh, you would like this book. I'm like, I don't know. And it's like iffy. But anytime you're like, I really like it, but I don't know if you would. That's the time that I'm like, okay, I need that one because he's like, there's something weird about this one or something. The guy's crazy.
Say that about a book that you don't really like.
There's like talking farm animals and just weird post-war PTSD.
Yeah, there's a lot of layers, and this is a book that I'm excited for the trade to come out so that I can just continuously reread it. Because like I think it's gonna be, I don't know. It's weird enough that like I probably will forget everything about it in like 2 months.
Yeah, someone will ask me, and I'll be like, "Yeah, that was the one where there's this guy Frank, and he's like on a farm."
At home on a farm,
and it's his home is the farm, and it's really weird. Like that's all I got.
I mean, would you rather be on a farm or would you rather be at like the dead end of a street? In
this case, I would rather be at at the dead end of a street with the kids, from Frank Gogol. And wow, that's a last name. Civiticane?
There is actually a short that Ryan did because Todd nailed the last name.
Oh, did he? Oh, that's right. Yeah, I do remember that. And Reinhardt. This is the final issue for. So this is technically it's Dead End Kids: The Suburban Job, Dead End Kids 2, Volume 2. It's not a continuation of number 1. So, but they're both awesome. So, but is it? Maybe it ties in a little bit, and maybe there's an announcement for a Volume 3. So, Volume 1 is phenomenal, and Volume 2 might be better. So,
yeah. Volume 1 wasn't that the first book I ever recommended that you should buy?
I think it was. It was the first time that I bought a book that I'm like, I think it's my first Source Point book that I bought. And the first time that I bought one that it was just like, I don't know, like that's probably the smallest print run and stuff that I got from that. And I always finish Frank's books, and I always like put it back, and I always go, Mom, Frank made me cry again. It's like every time. This guy's writing is just it's just on a different level from a lot of people, that he really connects with a lot of what it is to be human and on this earth, and loss and relationships and stuff. It's really solid stuff. I like that book a lot.
All right, I'm going to continue talking about this, but I have to just say this. Hello, Bidsoul. It has been a very long time since we have seen you.
Hey.
You are one of the original OGs, and we miss you. And I forgot to tell you, but at some point I will get those. I didn't have time today, but I'll get those sagas off to you.
Oh, sagas.
Yeah, he had read Volume 1 finally, and I was like, well,
Nice.
I just happen to have 2, 3, and 4, but no Volume 1. So maybe I'll ship them to you. But I've loved Dead End Kids. It's very good. It does this. It's very. I mean, it plays off of like tropes of like people like the first one was in the 90s, and this one was more like our generation. Well, it starts off kind of there, but they're a little bit older, so maybe more towards like Todd's age, But it was funny because there was one thing where I originally saw something, I was like, I don't think that band was around there, but I forgot they did the time hop. But yeah, Frank has been putting out some of the best Source Point Press books. I mean, they've been all.
That's another really good one there. No Heroin. It's another really good one. I haven't read his book Grief, and just knowing the title, I'm a little scared to, since he makes me cry with everything else. Yeah. I have a feeling the book called Grief will be tough, but I like him so much that I might try to find the singles, even though he has
quite. It's not a single.
Oh, it's not? Okay, so that makes it easier. Great. I can just find the trade.
They might. I got the last first print from our comic shop. But this was also like 3 years ago.
Oh, I might be able to find it
But you can probably get it. Yeah, the first print is like light blue. The second print is red. I mean, it's a trade, so I don't really know if print matters as much,
Not really. Not at the end of the day. Frank Gogol.
But if you guys haven't,
these are green.
I highly recommend it.
It's $20.
Yeah,
not bad.
And I think it's maybe a $16 book. Maybe it's a $9 book. I don't know. I know that like the first book that new guy Ryan read from Frank Gogol, I think, was Grief, and I've owned it. I still haven't read it.
This is $20 for an issue number 1.
Well, it's just one issue.
Oh, and then was it like a nonstop?
It was just a trade.
Oh,
but it's like it's not a trade, but it's more like a prestige DC book. That's not the premium prestige, right? So I mean, like,
it's square. It looks like it's square bound. Yeah. It looks like it's square bound. So it's not like a full like 6 issues. It's probably like 3 or 4 or something like that, like 80 pages or something.
Yeah,
somewhere around there. Yeah, that makes sense.
And let's get to the pick of the week that only one of the two of us read. It is Deadly Class number 4. It is Image Comics. Writer is Rick Remender. Artist is Wes Craig. Colorist is Lee Luffred. And letterer is Russ Wooten. This book has been on. So I read like pretty much before all of us started doing this. I read all the volumes of Deadly Class, and then I started pulling it. And then pandemic happened, and we went on it went on hiatus for forever, and now it's back. And this was awesome. And I just have to show off my shirt because this is where Source Point Press gets their coffee, but it's a Twin Peaks reference. That's why I bought it. And this book even references Twin Peaks, so there's no way that I wasn't going to put it in there. It's great. I love this book. It's like all high energy. It's now we're in the 90s. It started in the 80s. Now we're in the 90s. Like grunge is a thing. There's like this weird spread that's like the Nirvana baby, but it's like then. And Rick Remender has a very cool letter at the end of this. It's just kind of talking about like, I wanted to write, like pretty much he said he wanted to write something really sweet. Didn't. And this is like what he wrote after he got his second vaccine shot. And it's very low energy, which was like kind of like one of those funny things is, you know, somebody who just got off of that and was also very low energy. But I love Deadly Class. I highly recommend anyone like get into Deadly Class. 45 is probably not a good starting off point, but it might be because it kind of maybe seems like it could be something new, but we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, you can get the trades or...
Yeah, I mean,
I got not too far to get into.
I read them all from the public library, too, like our public library, so they have them all. Yeah. I don't know... Oh.
I was just going to say...
Well, thank you. Yeah, we would love to keep seeing you as an OG. I don't know what Superman's secret identity is, but I do know that the Prestige format would be like Generation Forged. Or like those, you know, like usually a book, it's pretty much a Prestige is this big and usually square bound. Whereas like the books like Wonder Woman Dead Earth for DC is considered Prestige premium. I really recommend the one that I'm wearing, which is a damn fine cup of coffee, but it's very like mild. I do have the dark blend. I'll let you know when I open that. Oh, oops. Where'd you go?
And I didn't read Berserker.
I did. I really enjoyed the second issue
because I didn't buy
more.
Berserker. I dropped Berserker. So.
Oh, you did? You grabbed that? Well, you grabbed that foil cover.
I grabbed the foil, but they didn't have it in. I've asked it to be on my pull twice. And they still didn't have it in my pull. And I was like, you know what? I'm trying to cut books down. Maybe, and that's one that I wasn't even thinking of pulling to begin with. So it was like, I liked issue 1 and the foil cover for 2 was good, but it was like, you know what? I decided that since it wasn't automatically handed to me, I was just going to call that a sign. And I think it's going to be a super cool trade. Is that the foil one?
Yeah. This is just
just the A cover.
Yeah, I loved it. I mean, I didn't love it, but I liked it. It was like my top 10 maybe of my 21 books. That being said, only like I would say that up until like 16 and up were all books that I enjoyed.
Tomorrow.
Yeah, it should probably does too.
24 hours.
Mine hurt immediately, pretty much.
Oh, did it?
Also,
my arm is almost back. I can still. Yeah. It's a little rough.
Man, on the second shot, mine was pretty much fine the next day.
Mine was the next day. It was just like all my glands swelled up, and it was just like it's just. But otherwise, I felt fine. My wife was just out for like 2.5 days.
Also, welcome small town. Also, please never try and if you're using a weed thing to open a box again, at least wear shoes. Wearing flip flops scared me.
Like a weed whacker?
It was like it's pretty much a sigh.
Okay. Sith?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
However you say that. But he called it something different, and it was very scary.
Steve, I love the woods so much. That's next on my list. I have a few of the singles. I read it all digitally, and ever since I was like halfway through it, I knew that I had to start buying it, and I was hoping for a hardcover.
It has a decent amount of it.
I think I bought them all.
Okay,
that they had.
I read the first volume right before I had my first ultrasound. That's a very weird thing for everyone to hear. We'll just leave it there.
I love the woods so much. That's maybe one of my favorites of Tynan's.
You want to go into top threes? Do you
Cool.
remember your top three?
Cool, Bitzel. Good for you. It's not so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't done any boost stuff at all, so I'm still figuring out. I'm hopefully getting an iPad soon, and I'm going to learn how to do it on that rather than trying to do it all now. Yeah, where's my list?
You want me to go? I'll go first.
Yeah, you go first.
So my top three are Deadly Class, Frank at Home on the Farm, and Beta Ray Bill.
Mine,
which is funny, Nick and I have had the same number one the only times we do these alone. And this is the first time we had different number ones, but our 2 and 3s were reversed.
What was your well? And I didn't read your number one.
Yeah,
so,
Deadly Class.
So maybe it would have been, but I had Dead End Kids as my number one. Beta Ray Bill is my number two because ultimately I think that this is, especially being the finale, it's a stronger book than Beta. So that's why I switched it. And then Frank at Home at the Farm again, final issue. Was fantastic. So those four is nice. Source Point, Marvel, and Scout. I 6 months ago would never have guessed that a Source Point, Marvel, and Scout comics would be my top three of on a day that like Department of Truth came out, and cool
Department of Truth was solid.
Cool Robin book came out.
I learned something from Department of Truth.
Yeah, and then I didn't realize that I learned the same thing until you told me about it. I'm like, holy shit!
It involves the Denver International Airport and very controversial symbol.
And a very
and if you look at it, so it definitely is a stretch, but if you look at it, you can see it. And
I don't think it's all that much of a stretch, to be honest.
I mean, it doesn't line up the way that it should.
I mean, it makes sense that an airport would have runways at different angles. You know, it makes sense so planes can come in from all four sides. But seeing it from the air, it's like, oops. Although after thinking about it for a while, I thought maybe I did know that and just somehow forgot.
Where was it? I posted somewhere about that, and I feel like somebody was saying they went into a weird deep dive about the Denver International Airport.
Oh no.
And like, oh yeah, I was in somebody's channel and they were
now
talking
they're
about
flat earther.
No, there's a huge there's big conspiracies about Denver's International Airport.
Oh yeah.
Like apparently there's documentaries about it. I don't know. I occasionally watch them, but yeah. Also Detective comic has been super solid. This book was pretty close to making it into the list. I thought it would make it today. Berserker I thought would have made it today, but it didn't. I don't know. Crossover was one of those books that I think I put higher on my list. Only because of how much pop there was. There was a lot. This is the first time that I was like, oh shit, I like that person. I like that person. I'm into this. And I don't know. There was 2 people that I said, if we don't get these people soon, I'm going to be pretty pissed. And we ended up getting one of them.
At least one, yeah.
And he's on the cover of the B cover, so you can see it. Yeah. And
I think the other one is going to be second arc. Either the next issue.
Well, you'd think it would be the first arc, considering the first arc is called something about I love chains or something about chains.
You would think that, but or kids love chains or something like that. Yeah.
Witch Bloods has also been very solid from Vault Comics.
I haven't read that one.
I know Nick is not as big of a fan as I think me and Todd are, but I Breathed a Body from Aftershock. Also very, very solid.
How many issues is that going to be? Because we're on
only 5 that I.
Okay, so there's one more. So I was going to drop it.
It might be ongoing though, but Aftershock is weird. They normally don't do ongoings, to my knowledge.
If it's ongoing, I'm going to drop it because it's way over my head, and I feel like I get it, but I don't. And it's cool, but if it's just, I'll finish it up and I'll probably keep it and reread it and like it. But it's just I don't know. It's one of those books that it's like I can respect it. I think he's talented and I think it's good. It's just not something that I enjoy spending time with. which is weird, I guess, but it's just one of those. Because I like horror and stuff like that, but this kind of stuff I just don't really like.
I don't know what this means exactly with Bailey Sarian.
I don't know what that means.
But do you have a book that you're most excited to read that you haven't read? I can't believe I don't think either of us read this book.
Nope, that's second on my list. So first,
I'm pretty scared.
Top of my list is Dune,
it's going on hiatus.
Which I'm disappointed that I didn't get to this because originally this was like very high on the top of my list.
Confused that I didn't see it. Yeah.
Very high on my to read list, but then I remembered that it's one of those that it's my first introduction into Dune, and there's a lot of characters and a lot of stuff going on. And reading it month to month, it's like when I start reading it, I don't really know what's going on. And I told myself that at the 6-issue intervals or the end of arc intervals, I would reread from the beginning just so I would have it down and learn this because I really like it and I want to learn this universe. So I'm saving it. I got to pull out all the back issues and probably spend Friday and reread it all. And once in future, I also need to dig out #1 of Destiny New York. Because Todd got me to buy #1 last week, and then 2 came out this week, and it was
funny. You said that in your video. Todd told me about this last week when Todd told you about it when it was like his #2 pick of the week or something.
Yeah,
like that. You just didn't listen then.
No, I just didn't listen then. I'm too busy trying to figure
Nuclear Family #3. I wanted to get to this. I'm pretty bummed that I didn't get to either of the Stephanie Phillips books today because I've really enjoyed the first Harley Quinn, and I think the second one's going to be good. I know.
I'm almost glad that I like that cover.
And I don't know. Like a lot of people have said that the Rossimo art does not work in the Harley Quinn book, but I think it's a perfect character for it. Yeah. I think, and like it's funny that Second Street Marvel says like Zach Thompson is heavy because we made a joke about we hit 600 subscribers today, which is pretty cool. So we were talking about that, and I was making a joke about like how we can't quit until we get 666,000. And Todd was like, we'll be like 112. And I was just, my literal joke was, Zach Thompson's writing some really weird fucking books about the future now.
Yeah.
What else? I did not read. I just showed that. Once in Future. Damn Cursed Children. I put Silk on my trade or on my pull list. I'm not sure I love this book. I'll probably drop it. And then Cult of Dracula. This was a surprisingly small week for me. I got 15 books from the shop. Oh, but then I ended up I got 19.
That'll be soon. We were going to do it tonight, but then Todd didn't show up.
Yeah. It's kind of like your 3 fun facts, right? We brought you 2.
It's just, I think
we might do 4 next time.
Speaking of, we only have like 4 or 5 people entered in our 500 subscriber giveaway. We have 5 people. There's going to be 3 winners. Yeah. And that's not enough disappointed. Winner, it's not enough disappointed people. And that
50 people will be a winner.
All you have to do is answer one of the questions. You just even guess. It can be a bad guess.
Do you want one of these? Just literally send us one guess.
Just go 5 guesses.
Get 2 of those.
5 guesses. If you get one right, you might get
you at least get an entry. You have a chance.
A trade and 3 floppies.
Yeah.
So it'll be soon. Maybe Saturday. We'd probably do it Saturday.
Yeah, maybe Saturday.
I think we're all going to be there Saturday.
I think so. I'm going to leave a little early.
And we might not. We don't have a guest lined up.
I thought the original.
So that'll be perfect. Saturday. So, this is everybody's notice. Then we'll do the giveaway.
Hang out with us on Discord or on StreamYard. Sorry, join our Discord. It's the links below. We're gonna go live at 10. We're probably gonna hang out, the 3 of us, for like the 15 minutes.
Koozies are for US only.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure. Sure. Maybe not, but I'm pretty sure.
Only US. And we also said for our stuff, we would at least I think we said we'd do $10 or something. I don't know. We'll have to go back. Or you cover shipping outside. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, if you want it and you're good for paying the shipping, then we'll send it for free.
And hey, you get to see us age throughout the years, which is a beautiful thing, I think. So, hey, what did you guys like? Make sure to come back. Leave a comment. If you haven't hit the like button, please do. If you haven't subscribed, maybe do that too. But yeah, I mean,
here it is.
Know what you do, and leave comments on all of our videos throughout the month. Maybe you'll be entered in a giveaway towards the end of the month that we do on This Week in Comics.
Wait. Here's the link to the 500 subscriber giveaway. If you have not entered yet, there's the link for that. It'll explain what you need to do.
And we even list the videos out. You just have maybe the questions. I forget.
If you wanted a really good chance at winning, you would have to watch at least part of 5 of our videos.
If you've watched any of our interviews, you're going to know how to figure out one of the questions. Mm-hmm. One of them, you can easily just fast forward to the middle of the video and figure it out. Mm-hmm. One of them is fairly hard because we had 2 people get it wrong.
Oh,
the other ones are pretty easy.
Shadecraft 2 was way better than number 1, but it wasn't enough that made me want to pull it.
I asked them to put a copy of Shadecraft number 1 in my box. I was only going to buy Shadecraft number 2 if they added me as a pull, but they did not.
Oh, they still have Shadecraft 1. I think. I thought I saw one today.
No, I got Shadecraft 1. I asked them to put it in my box, but I didn't say to pull it. So I figured if it was in my box, I'd buy it. But if it wasn't, I wasn't going to.
See, that's what I did with Berserker.
Hello, yeah, and that's the thing. You get.
I've done that. I've done that several times. Which it's not like anything against our shop or anything. It's it's just I know that works. Is that sometimes they don't automatically just add you to something if you buy something.
Yeah,
which is nice because there's a lot of times that it's I just wanted the one or that cover or something. But yeah, Shadecraft, it's there's something about that story that I really like, but everything else along with it is not something that
I guess
I'm interested in right now.
This is a book that I think I would like, and I think that maybe when my she's got a long way. But when my daughter is a teenager, I think this might be a cool book for her to read. So this seems like a better book for me to end up getting in a trade. And
that's where I'm at with it.
I kind of said it was 7 Secrets. I got the first issue and I was like, I don't like this pacing. And I read the trade and I fucking love the trade. It made me cry a little bit. It made me
7
happy.
Secrets?
It's great. Yeah, it's a great book.
Oh.
But I know that if I was pulling it weekly and reading it weekly, I would not enjoy it as much.
Huh, that's fair.
Which is,
I like that you like it because I was always disappointed that you didn't really like it before.
No, yeah, I ended up reading the trade, and I don't know if I've ever even told you. Yeah, I bought the trade when I was in Chicago. I read it in a sitting. Man, that scene when he's Casper is I like your jacket. And then
see, and you know what it is? I think at 3, I did a reread.
Yeah,
I did a reread at 3 because I think it got screwed by pandemic a little bit, and there was a break in between a few issues, and then it was on hiatus again. And I think because I reread
it while we were all together, so it would have been.
Okay.
It came out after pandemic.
Okay, maybe it was. I don't know.
But maybe
I know that I know that at one point I reread. The start of the issues, and it was either at 3 or 4, and it was when a lot of people started dropping off it, and I don't know, it
does leave it in a weird spot where they're kind of in this weird world. I don't know. I like it. It's in that Matrix territory, right? Do we need more? Do we not need more?
Yeah.
I read Spawn. I've been reading Spawn. I've been considering adding Spawn to my pull list for literally one reason. I don't actually really like Spawn that much. The art is fantastic. It's fine. It's fine for what it is, but it's $2.99 for a comic book, and I think that us as comic fans, you can burn $3 and make this like the biggest book that's being pulled, I think it's worth it because it shows people like, hey, and I don't know,
you're gonna ruin it. Everybody's gonna be like, yeah, your Cole's right. Let's all buy it, and the sales are gonna go up, and they're gonna be like, we should raise the price on this.
I've heard multiple people say the same thing I'm saying for years because it's just that's the thing. Spawn is that book that's always $2.99, and like. Yeah. It's cool. The art's great. I don't get it, but also I started reading Spawn at like Spawn issue like 314. So not a great starting point. But like I think even the new Spawn universe books might be it.
Oh.
Hey, it's okay. If you want here, if you're late, I'll show you our top threes real quick. This is what Nick picked.
Excellent books.
And this is what I picked.
Still
if you
good.
See, we have
Still
a very,
solid.
very similar theme of that. We had the same 2 or 3 reverse.
You didn't read my number 1, did you?
I did read your number 1.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah. Your number 1 was like my number 6.
Okay, that's fair.
It was good. I liked it.
Yeah.
I think I liked 25th better on the Source Point book. I don't know. Sometimes with starts are better than ends, depending on how they work.
Yeah. Well, and it's different since you've read the whole thing, too, because I've only read the first.
Spoiler. So either way, Nick, you win that because there's no way that I'm going to beat it. I mean, unless he was like, I truthfully think that Frank at Home at the Farm is so much better than Beta Ray Bill.
If you're in our Discord, you understand this reference.
Oh, man. Oh, I clicked it too. I think Nick and I are gonna like also both like mildly disagree with you because I was saying,
thought they were all very strong. I don't think anything was necessarily like, holy crap, this was amazing. Aside from Beta Ray Bill, I just had so much fun reading that book.
Yeah, Beta Ray Bill. Yeah,
that was the one that was like I got to the end and it was just like, I love this book. Like it's just so good. So that was maybe the only one that like got me really excited about it.
And Deadly Class just is more the nostalgia. And hey, remember that book you loved that you read a ton of issues of? Now it's back.
Yeah, that's cool.
Which
I didn't find any of them like there's a few if I went.
Yeah, I mean,
where's my list? I had Shadecraft number 2 as my 13th. Like I said, there's something about it that I like something.
It was my 19th out of 21.
Yeah. Galactic Rodents of Mayhem was a cool book from Scout. If you're into like Ninja Turtles or
Biker Mice from Mars, like all that kind of stuff. Like,
what's the other one from them? From Bob and
Metal Shark Bro.
Metal Shark Bros. Yeah, it's not.
I like Metal Shark Bro a lot better than this. But
yeah,
it's similar. This is more like kind of like they even have like a weird Ninja Turtle pun. I mean, another book that I read that was really actually good was Helm Greycastle, but I did not grab the issue. But if you're into D&D, that's a high recommend. You'll like it. I mean, Stake number 2 also was pretty solid.
I had that at my 10. I liked that book.
I read Shadow Man Robin. We talked about Witchblood. We both read Snatched. Snatch is kind of I like the idea
that was my 14th.
Of the book. The thing it's about people that are taking hair from people to create into weaves and then sell loosely on the black market.
Yeah.
Which is like, it's not necessarily like, it's an original concept. It's weird. Oh
yeah, I didn't Snatched. I didn't like. I don't know what it was about it. I didn't.
Apparently, he did not like Deadly Class. I'm taking it. Pretty upsetting.
Was it the letters or was it
a Twin Peak reference? And as you can tell, I'm wearing a coffee shirt that is about Twin Peaks. I mean, you just put Twin Peaks in a book, I'm going to be into it.
You can just do a Kickstarter, and it's just it's a 20-page book that just says Twin Peaks on every page, and Cole will back it.
Oh, then I don't know. Oh, you hated, yeah, and I get it. I like Helm Greycastle is like it's pretty much a D&D book. If you like D&D, I think you'll like it. I mean, there is some like Mayan history in there, and I don't know a lot about that, so maybe I could see if people don't like that, I guess. But I liked it. I like the art. I mean, it's fun. I mean, mostly when you put me in a D&D weird campaign, I'm in because I play it and it's fun, but I could see why people might not also like it too. Summoner War Legacy also was pretty good. I didn't love the art for the story. It kind of is in this weird, like, YAE feel that is, but like not, it was weird. It was like, you know, I don't know, like kind of hard to say, but I did not read this book. I know Todd grabbed it. I know I started reading it.
I started reading it.
Book.
Yeah, I started reading it and I don't remember what was going on. I was trying to read it at work and like it was busy and I had to keep stopping and it was just, and I was like, I'm not even going to attempt doing this right now.
I don't disagree with you on that. But I think that's one of those things where some people enjoy just getting immersed into a world and being there where other people might not. And that's why, like, I wouldn't recommend getting Helm Grey Castle if you've never played D&D, because it probably won't be fun.
So yeah, that was This Week in Comics.
This Week in Comics. Yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna do a boo. And then I just started staring off into space, and I just kind of lost what I was doing. I'm Nick.
And yeah, you know, leave a comment when you're done. If you're still here, you should leave a comment. It's very beneficial for you in the long run, maybe.
No. Good things happen to people who leave comments and smash the like button.
Yeah. Or join our Discord and start gambling in the gambling.
Yeah, gamble for coins and win comic books.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just going to say that the only person that has bought tokens into a drawing that we might do monthly has won it. So,
you won a scout box, a $45 value.
The $39.99.
$39.99.
Well, that's what you'll pay
value.
for, but it's
it's that's a great box.
Yeah, and I mean it's there.
Hop in there. It's shit posting.
I think you're technically there,
you
Taylor.
Daily coins, like, and then you can wager on rock, paper, scissors, roulette, rolling the dice, and guessing a number between 1 and 100.
I am lucky on the guessing, but I'm just holding out.
I'm terrible at it.
If you get, I think it's 1 million coins, you get a Chaos and Comics, the original bad boy of YouTube comic book reviews, swimsuit edition calendar that he will make for somebody that wins that.
It's from like 1997. Yeah. But I'm gonna make it from if we get to make this, it's got to be usable for the following calendar year, but it's the calendar from like whatever it is, however many years it takes for it to be usable again. It'll be like a 1987 calendar, but everything will be right because it'll settle back down right again.
It's funny because I mean I've been killing it, I think, compared to other people. Goose went on a tear, but I've made it.
I keep slowly climbing, and then it's just like bam, and then I slowly climb. Now bam,
is I'm staying at the 1,000 mark that I'm at, and I'm only using my daily coins to
gamble
go up. And if I get back to the 1,000 mark, I stop.
Yeah, that's what I gotta start doing. You got smart gambling. Well, you can learn it in our Discord. You don't have to be good at Discord. You can just pop in, do some gambling.
I just know that like usually you want to mute stuff because we get chaotic and there's a lot of talk. But
yeah,
hey,
if that kind of stuff bothers you, so
thanks everyone for hanging out with us.
Love you.
Yeah, love you back. I'm Cole.
I'm Nick again.
Bye.
Bye.